Hello, we are back. Welcome back to Actual Play World Dungeons. I think we're about to go into a dungeon, probably.
Hell yeah.
Oh no, we're about to requisition the right tools to go into a dungeon, rather. So,
Very often, some say the most exciting part of any dungeon, really.
absolutely. Filling out the requisition forms.
Fuck. Like, you know what? If we can get requisition forms down to it like a thing, and I never have to run a fucking fantasy shopping session ever again, maybe my least favorite thing in all of gaming, unless it's Burning Wheel, we got a good resources check. Like a good Burning Wheel resources check can be pretty dope.
Yeah.
But oh my god, like counting gold pieces.
Well, this is also one of those things. Is like there may be funds and the money being changed hand, but none of it's Micah's, right? Like,
right.
It's not me saying, "Can I afford this?" It's, "Will my department foot the bill for it? Do we have money in the right?"
Oh yeah,
bucket of money for it.
I just feel like I need to, like, at some point, someone needs to write a media studies thing about the capitalist nightmare of gamers who love fantasy shopping. Like, it's really a thing. Like, it's a thing. It's a whole thing.
Well, the fundamental thing that I think makes fantasy shopping so delightful is that very few games ever address things like cost of living. So if you have 100 gold, that means you have 100 gold and you can do whatever you want with it. Right. If I have $100, I'm like, well, hold on, how am I paying for 3 meals today? And how am I going to pay rent? And how am I going to do all those other things? Like, how much that $100 is actually mine to spend? Oh, 10? Okay. So it's this, I think it's the fantasy of disposable income, or like we're so used to having money but having so many bills. I'm like, when the hell do PCs ever have bills that they really have to deal with in a meaningful way? So anyway, we don't need to do that though.
Legit.
I think this is probably an intelligence check. I don't think it's really a question of can I commission it. It's can I design a secure lifting solution.
Okay.
Does that sound right to you?
Yeah. It sounds like intelligence to me.
Yeah.
And do we want to talk about like what you're actually doing? Like, what does this look like? Is it?
To my mind, in my mind, it looks like me working with the engineers, the same folks that got us Lifter 3, and me being like, okay, so Lifter 3 gets it up 6. Like, we've got a bunch of, like, we got like a drafting board, and we've got Lifter 3 standing there as well. And I've got a couple of engineers, and we got some charcoal pencils, and we've got a bunch of sketches of it in different stages. And it's like, okay, it gets 6 inches up. They can't crawl through 6 inches, I don't think. We put the stops underneath it. Okay, when we're going to get to 12 inches up, that's when we need to start barricading it. And are we doing this magic, physical objects? What are we doing to make sure that we're, still safe? And it's drawing a bunch of sketches and sort of spitballing plans. And maybe I've got Blue in there with me being like, well, we know it takes like an hour. We know it's going to take multiple hours to do this. So can a wizard maintain a force field that long? Like,
right.
Is the force field the temporary solution while we build the barricade behind it, and then the force field comes down, and then we lift up a little more, and then we barricade? I think it's lift, force field, barricade, lift, force field, barricade. Something. This is what I'm envisioning. How many wizards do we need to be able to cast that many? Walls of force kind of business. Anyway, I think it's a fun way to combine magic and tech, or not even tech, just magic and practical things.
Cool. That makes perfect sense.
And my goal is if I get a 10+ on this roll, we can open that door, and there's no danger to us. Like, we can approach the goals on our chosen, when we feel ready for it.
Yeah. So we're thinking that the trap has reset at this point. And we're
I was envisioning that the trap has never been unset, that they're still on the other side of that door ready to claw us to pieces.
Got it. Okay. Okay. So like you get to go in on your own terms. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. I'm glad we chatted that out.
Does that sound reasonable to you? I mean,
totally. Yeah, it does. I just wanted to like understand what you wanted out of it, and also what it looked like, and like what I like the idea of everyone getting together with municipal folks and being like, okay, like we need to open this, and we need to do it, in a more of a safe way. Let's spitball this and talk about it.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I think it's probably ends with some sort of permanent solution where at the end of this, the door is just propped open indefinitely. Like we have the supports in there so that it's not going to go anywhere. But that's less important than the safe part. All right. I'm going to make my intelligence roll.
Awesome.
I'm going to use my, do I want to use it right now? I've got 3 hold for my paperwork roll, and what I can use that to get a +1 forward.
Yeah.
I got 3 hold. I'll use one of them now. So I'm gonna make this roll, and I got +1 to whatever this result is. All right. Well, didn't make a difference. That's a 9.
Yeah.
So
sounds good. So like, it's okay, but there's like a. You know what? I'm gonna say it just takes. I'm gonna use the easy one and say that it takes a lot longer than you thought.
Yeah.
I think like you thought it was going to take an hour and it takes 3. And that's an easy one, and it might not be the most exciting 7 to 9 thing in the world, but that's all right. I feel like we're opening a door into a crypt full of ghouls. Like, how much excitement can I really pour on this?
Well, I have I have an idea for how to make that more not necessarily exciting, but more problematic.
Okay.
Which is that by the time we get there and are ready for this, there's a gaggle of priests and paladins there being like, "What the hell? You know, what took you so long?" And
right.
They're like itching to go by the time we not to depict them as unruly, but they're annoyed that they've had to wait for hours for us to get there to bring in all the right equipment. And it's not my best entrance as a delve leader to show up 2 hours after the priests and paladins, dude. I should have been there at the beginning of it. So, if that sounds right to you, that feels like a more consequential.
Sounds good. Yeah. They're the relationship with the new posse is going to be a little fraught. That sounds good. Cool. So I think Dole and Blue are kind of like relegated to kind of support hireling roles. And the frontline folks are Sir Arnar, Sister Naja, and Dame Ajo. And I think they're ready to roll. I think they're like, you get there and they're arguing with municipal folks about the wait.
Oh.
And they're like, why, and so like you hear this argument happening as you arrive. And it sucks, right? Like showing up to work in the there's that thing of showing up to work and there's like a really shitty vibe.
Yeah.
That just sucks.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. I think. Micah sort of pauses for a second, takes a big breath in, like I gotta do this. I don't want to do it, but I gotta do this, and walks in and is like, "Hi all!" Tries to sort of break up whatever argument's happening when they get there. I'm Micah, your delve lead. I know I'm late. It's a good reason. Let's all get acquainted. Sorry you've had to wait for so long. And just try to like break, if not break the tension, at least end the squabbling for a minute.
Yeah.
Who's in charge?
I think like Sir Arnar, who is wearing like a breastplate with a sun rising on it, and has a warhammer in one hand and a shield, also with a sun on it. And let's just keep the sun thing going. I think they've got a helmet that looks like a sun, like one of those suns with a face.
Yeah.
And so like the beams are like going, above his head and kind of like going, but like angling back so that, it's still kind of movable. It's not like, all around like some kind of, I don't know, some kind of dancer's thing. It like they kind of stream back a little bit. And, Sir Arnar says like, I am the ranking holy knight here. And I think like Sister Naja like sniffs at that, like, well, all right.
I'll let you have that one.
I'll let you
But
have that one. I think she has like uh, a habit with it looks black, and then you look at it and you're like, oh no, that's a really deep blue, and then you look at it a little more and like, oh, there are tiny stars sewn into it, and you realize she's some kind of holy order, of the night sky, and and yeah, Dame Ajo is from something just else. She's from like some other part of the world where they worship some kind of holy wolf, and she is a holy knight in the service of that wolf god or goddess,
yes.
the wolf deity.
I say, well, Sir Arnar, Sister Naja, Dame Ajo, there's few enough here. We can all just treat each other like peers. I'm sure you've been briefed about what's going on. You're unfortunately going to have to wait a good while longer while we get this door lifted up, but we have all the right equipment to do that and to keep us all safe. As far as I know, there's a half dozen very, very vicious, horrific ghouls on the other side of that waiting to tear us all apart the moment we lift this door up.
Cool. Make a charisma roll. Let's see how well you chill them out.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if I have any kind of offering. I don't think I have any kind of offer. I don't think I have any kind of bribe to give them.
Yeah.
But I will be like, I recognize the sun god from Pelorum's, things.
Yeah.
And I say, Sir Arnar, thank you for bringing the light of the sun down into these dark places. It is where it is needed. And I think that's not necessarily like scripture, but that's something I've heard Pelorum say something along those lines. Like
Cool.
I'm not quoting it verbatim, but anyway.
You are offering kindness. I'll take that.
All right, let's see how this goes. Oh boy. All right, never mind. I was right on the edge of saying like, do I want to take another one of those holds for this? But I did not. I didn't do it. So, well.
Yeah, I think Arnar loses it and says the church is taking control of this, and he turns to one of the municipal folks who is here with a lifter, and he says, "Get that damn door up. We're ready." And he gets his shield ready, and like the municipal guy is like the lifter like goes to get their forklift like under the door, and like one of the municipal guys is like, no, wait, that's not, wait, is that and like shit is about to go really poorly.
Yeah. I put a hand on the lifter. I'm like, hold up. Remember, we have a plan. And I turn back to Arnar and I say, I very much understand how much time you've already spent here. I very much understand you have very important things to do. But we just spent the last several hours developing a method to open this door without anything, without preventing those ghouls from ripping us all to shreds when it comes open. So if I can just beg of you a little more of your patience, and I'm saying like I'm asking, but I'm not asking. I am telling Arnar,
okay,
you don't get to do this.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of challenging him to like. I understand he feels like he can boss the municipal folks around, and I'm wondering if he feels like he also can boss me around as lead delver on this.
Right.
And I want to see, and I'm happy to let that 6 ride, and he can be boss if he wants, or I can make another roll. But I'm not going to let him just step all over all the folks that we just spent so long.
So I think the last roll was to see how well you chilled out the holy warriors here.
Yeah.
I think this roll is to see how well you exert your leadership over the municipal folks. And if you fail, I think the door is opening right now.
Yeah. Okay.
And the plan is going to hell, and they're following Arnar's lead.
Yeah. Well, this time I will say I'm going to spend one of my holds.
Yes.
So let's take a +1 on this roll. which I didn't need, but that's fine. This is the way the cookie crumbles.
Oh,
I'll
nice.
take a 13.
Yeah. The municipal people cross their arms, and Arnar, like, I mean, I think he throws a fucking like a shitty tantrum. I think he throws his shield down, and he throws his shield and his sword down, and walks out and says, "Call me when you're fucking ready, when you're ready to do something," and walks out.
Yeah,
like everybody's just left like with that uncomfortable thing of a like post tantrum.
Yeah, somebody just made it really awkward for everybody.
Yeah.
I think I pull off like a grocery bag that I was carrying along with everything else, and I'm like, flatbread, anyone? It's Tower District bread. It's really good. It's chewy, yeasty.
Nice.
It's learned about this on a delve. It's good dungeon food. I'm just like, fuck that guy. Like, I'm really literally like, he made it shitty and awkward, but like, I'm kind of glad he's gone. So
yeah. That's awesome. That is really awesome. I think we're having lunch, right?
Yeah.
I think, that's not a bad way. It's not a terrible way to get a tense situation in line, handing out food. There are way worse ways to do it.
Yeah.
I think people like take the bread and start like munching. Sister Naja takes out like a little bit of hummus and offers it to everyone for dipping. And so we get there's shared food as we get through this. And I think the head municipal guy like dips some bread and some into some hummus, and then with a mouthful of hummus starts going over things.
Yeah.
And normally if things on a normal day, the most awkward thing that would have happened would be like, oh, this municipal guy was talking with a mouthful of hummus. He was spitting hummus at everyone. It was fucking disaster. But like literally the paladin like was such a dick that like he has made this open mouth hummus eater, hummus sprayer, just like the most endearing guy in the room.
Right.
He's like, so we're gonna get the door open 8 inches, you said?
No. We're gonna get the door open 60 inches. We're doing it 8 inches at a time. We've got this barricade. We're ready to build up as we go.
Okay. Let me get Lifter 3. You ready to do this? And Lifter 3 nods and says, my lifts are under the door, but I will not lift until the lead delver says so, right? That's our job.
Thanks, Lifter 3. Let's I do a safety check, and it's like on belay on. Okay, cool. Let's start lifting.
Yeah.
Awesome. Everyone does the little like buddy check. And I think that this also takes. I mean, that's part of why I'm so frustrated. This also takes a while. So while it's going on, I try to learn a tiny bit about Sister Naja and Dame Ajo, what their deal is. I say I heard the chapter house asked for the best. You must be very renowned amongst your orders.
I think like they both look uncomfortable with praise and say, we've done this sort of thing before. And I think somewhere in the midst of like, the first 8 inches of the door going up, Arnar comes in sheepishly, as tantrum folks are known to do, and picks up his shield off the floor where it was left and picks up his sword and checks it for nicks and murmurs something that he's definitely going to claim was an apology later, and gets in line as the door starts going up.
Nice. I think I asked. I think I like without saying any words. I think I just offer him like the last corner of the flatbread, and if he wants it, great. And if he doesn't, I'll eat it because I'm always hungry.
Yeah,
And
he doesn't, but like I think Dole is nearby and she takes it.
nice.
And she says, if you end up one person down, I'm back here. You can call me in for reserves. And like she says it like right over Arnar, like fuck this guy. You know, if he goes down, call me and I'll fucking come and take a shield.
Nice.
And yeah, I think she gets like the straps of her harness like set. I mean, she knows she's in support role today,
right?
Because the holy folk are needed for the ghouls. But yeah, she's ready to be called in, and she kind of like says if you need I'm in reserve, and kind of like takes the cornbread, eats it when what's his name when Arnard hesitates, and like claps you on the shoulder like I gotcha, and
nice.
walks into the other room around the corner to like wait for your call, and be a good colleague, and yeah, I think the doors start going up. How do you picture this happening? Like what is ideal?
I think what happens is
what would be ideal if the die rolls went very well.
If the die rolls went perfectly, what happens is the door gets lifted, and we have a barricade that's sort of being built as the door goes up, but it's sturdy reinforced wood. It's sturdy, iron-bound wood reinforced on the ghoul side, but it's got grips that we can pull it away easily on our side when we're ready for it. So we basically replace the door with our own wooden barrier that we're sort of building as we go. And then once the door is all the way up and there's plenty of room, one person on each side pulls like the barrier is basically like two pieces. Well, it's a bunch of pieces that are locked, but it's two pieces that can kind of come apart from the side, split down the middle, and then the holy ones can go in and do their business. But they're maybe they're still getting jumped by ghouls, but at least they've got the whole door space to work with rather than trying to fit underneath it. You want me to make a roll to see how well that goes?
I do, yeah. I think that's a lot to coordinate. Sounds like leadership.
Yeah, sounds good. I feel like all the prep I did to make this happen would justify +1 on this.
Sure.
Yeah, so,
sure.
All right, I'm gonna take +1 on this roll. All right. My +1s keep not mattering, but that's all right. So that's an 8.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so I think on one hand, well, it's a success with a cost, right?
Yeah, or a complication. Yeah,
or a complication. Okay. So the goal was like to get the door open and to have like a better fighting chance than having to fight while rolling backwards on a weird little
having to fight while we're still trying to lift it up while there's a big lifting construct right in the middle of it. Exactly. Yeah, we wanted to get lifter 3 all the way out of the way because the supports were all there.
Yeah, I think that all goes fine, and you I think even the first wave of ghouls goes down pretty smoothly, but as the ghouls start to pile up, you realize there's a lot more of them than you fucking thought.
Oh damn!
And you see,
I think I saw 5, and I was like, well, there's 6 alcoves, and there's one that came after me, so it must be 1 per alcove. That's got to be it. Yeah.
Right, and then what you didn't anticipate is that there was an alcove of 6 where in the first area. What you didn't anticipate was those ghouls going to the next alcoves and getting those ghouls out, and so it's like double the number of ghouls you thought. And hey Corey, and so it's turning like they're holding, but like they're starting to get wounded, and your shit's gonna turn soon. Like you feel like the line's gonna buckle, and you're not sure where.
Yeah.
And I feel like you're not in that front line.
No, I'm definitely not. I'm just kind of calling the shots.
Yeah.
I think as I see it, I'm like, shit. We got to rotate. We got to rotate people out. You know, we can't. These guys might be the best of the best, but they can't do this forever. And so, yeah, I say, as I'm watching it, I say, Dole. I think I was hoping I wouldn't have to do this, but I think I need you in there.
Yeah, Dole is ready, and I think Dole and Blue are both there. Like
yeah. And so yeah, I'm going to try and this is going to be great. I'm going to be like, this is not something we planned. If we had planned it, this might be better. But I'm going to say, because both Dole and Blue have sort of ranged weapons. You know, Dole can fire the pistols. Blue can cast magic missiles and cones of cold and things like that. So they're in there in melee, and I'm going to try and coordinate. I say, I'm bringing you reinforcements on my mark. You know, push to the sides, like I want them. They're in a little 10-foot by 10-foot. They're like 10-foot wide corridor. They're fighting away. And I'm going to tell them, you know, go to the edges, and we're going to send artillery down the center.
Yeah.
And to try and clear some of the wake, which I'm sure is just not something that Arnar wants to hear, and also potentially dangerous because we're hopefully not a bear that's going to shoot our friends in the back with a shotgun.
It's very difficult. Yeah.
But
I think, if you had rehearsed this for a week, it would be difficult. And now you're not. So like, yeah, let's do it.
All right. And yeah, I don't think I have. I mean, I could ask Dole for a pistol, but I'm not the shot that she is. It's not my forte. I don't want to.
Yeah. No, I think you're the general in this thing.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like this is another charisma roll, or maybe intelligence to try and plan it.
Yeah, I think I could see either way.
Mm-hmm. Light them on fire again. Yeah, thanks, Spikeball. That's a good plan.
It worked so well the first time.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So if you were just joining us, this is a continuation of a delve we did last week, last week, a week from today, where Micah was doing municipal delving and opened a door that tripped off a trap and awakened ghouls that were in some kind of stasis beam. And so the ghouls attacked, and then Micah threw a torch a lantern at them. And so rather than just fighting a ghoul, they fought a ghoul on fire, and they closed the door between them and the ghoul and talked to city officials and planned this all out. And now there are way more ghouls than they thought there were going to be. And so they're trying to pivot and do a mid delve change in the midst of combat. And as the delve leader, Micah is kind of in charge of that. And so rather than rolling for like each NPC, we're rolling on Micah's leadership to see how well Micah delegates and leads. So if things seem weird, or it just seems that's what's weird, that is what we're doing that might be different than what you're used to.
All right.
And I'm digging it. And
all right, I'm going to take my final +1 on this because it's important. And I'll call this an intelligence roll because I think it's really a matter of like a timing. It's really a timing thing. They're both the same, but I feel like
I want to. That's important.
All right, that's a 9.
Okay, cool. So I think folks take some damage.
Yeah.
Oh shit! It's a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Okay, so Arnar has how many hit points? Okay, and Sister Naja has. Actually, you know what? I'm going to give them 2d6 because they're good. They're good at it. So
Mhm.
Arnar has 8. Sister Naja has 7, and Dame Ajo has 7. That was some pretty lucky rolling, and so no one goes down, but they take some heavy fucking damage. So I
Yeah.
think like they separate, and the Dole's firearm goes off and in a blast and like just fills the room with smoke, and then Blue's fireballs, or not fireballs, magic missiles, zip zip zip. I think these azure lights, with sparks kind of going off the walls, around these cones of arcane energy, zip down, and I think it softens the ghouls and like lets this crew drive them deeper in and take it to them. So I think like you've driven them, like whereas you felt the line was going to break, now you've driven them back,
Nice.
and you feel like you've got the ghouls kind of on their heels. As the ghouls kind of retreat. I mean, it's not a measured retreat. I think it's more of a rout.
Yeah.
Do you make the order like go in and finish them, or is it like, hey, let's regroup? What is it you want to do?
I think I see how mangled everyone is.
Yeah,
And I know that like a second uh a second wave is or second surge rather is going to put us further into their territory, and who knows if there's even more waiting to be activated. So I
right.
think Micah's like, I know Sir Arner's gonna tell me I'm a coward and that he hates it, but as soon as we like clear the door and they're routed, I go, um, I like let out like a loud whistle, and I go, okay, that's it. We've pushed back the first wave. We're calling that a success. Put the barricade back up. I basically want to trade out the people with the barricade that we had pulled away,
Yeah.
so that we can go back in again. But
Yep.
after we've got some folks have been healed, and
Yep.
it's totally the way no uh, uh, D&D hero would want to approach a dungeon, but it's the way a construction crew would be like, well, we've drilled as far as we can today without the bit like overheating and the whole machine cracking. So
Yeah.
that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna pull out the bit and we're gonna cool it down. And
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like we're gonna pull out the people and we're gonna heal them up before we. It's not
Yeah.
glorious. It's keeping people alive, and
Yep. I think Arnar turns to you immediately, and you can when he turns to you, I think he takes the helmet off, and you can see that there's like blood coming down the side of his neck, and that he's missing an ear, like from this,
yeah,
like something like some claw got up into his
got up in the
helmet,
helmet. Yeah,
yeah, and gave it a yank, and but he turns to you right away, and you're like, here it comes. And he raises his hand, and it's like glowing with this beautiful dawn light. And he says, "Are you wounded, Delve Leader?"
no, I'm fine. You take care of yourself. You look like you took an ugly blow in there. I'm okay.
He turns to Naja, and he says, "Night Sister," and she says, I'm hurt. It's bad." And he says, "Come, let the sun heal you. The sun and the night are siblings." Hmm? And you see him, and you realize that like once battle starts, Arnar is like, "Oh, chain of command." Like
Yeah.
I have to make sure the leader is fine, and then
And then
he heals Naja, and then Naja is well enough to kind of give him some healing back, uh,
nice.
and um, and Dame Ajo takes out and Dame Ajo takes out a potion of healing
Nice.
and chugs it, and they then they kind of look at you and they're like, "Are we done for the day, or are we going in there?"
Either I say either there's a finite number of them and we've made a big dent and tomorrow we can come back to finish them off, or there's an infinite number of them and there's no and it's a death it's a death funnel no matter what we do. But I'd rather take my chances that there is not some magic portal on the other end of there on the other side. They're spawning ghouls and the numbers will be greatly diminished tomorrow. So let's rest up, get our union 8 hours rest plus a check from the healers plus a what do you call it, like the where they basically say you're like fit for service again,
Yeah.
plus
Yeah.
and we can come back in the morning. We got the barricades up. This time we won't have to wait. Literally, it'll be
Yep.
pull the barricades down and go back in.
Yeah, and Arnar said some of my squires will be on the guard duty on the guard detail. Has anyone seen my ear? Yeah, and there's just like an awkward moment of everyone like checking their boots to make sure that like
They don't have like an ear in
Sir
the.
Arnar's ear is on the bottom of it. Like it's a gruesome moment that would totally happen in Dungeon Delves.
It would totally happen in Dungeon Delve. I feel like it's that thing like who's seen my car keys, but in this case, but it's even grosser, and we're all like looking around like I want to find it, but I don't want to find it.
Yeah. I don't think anyone finds his ear. I think a ghoul is currently eating it, and yeah, and I think Arnar is like getting stitched up and healed, and as you're leaving as you're like starting to get your paperwork together, and I think you're sitting in the pavilion where you were talking to the DM earlier, and Dole is like next to you, like talking, like just like
I think this pavilion is like our like temporary headquarters while we're on this delve, right? Like instead of doing everything from the charter house, we're just working here because it's so close to it. Yeah.
Yeah, and Arnar walks in and like you feel Dole stiffen up. You know who's walked in immediately just because the way
I think I've got my back to Arnar, but I see Dole just like stiffen. Yeah, I can tell.
And Arnar comes in and says, I'm sorry we had a disagreement. We'll do better tomorrow.
And I say, don't beat yourself up about it, Arnar. That's what the ghouls are for. We did good. We did well, and you fought bravely.
Yeah, Arnar, offers the sun, or offers the sun over the heart, and then leaves. And
I think when he like does the sun over the heart, I like fist bump him, and
it's not how it's supposed to go.
No, it's not.
Just awkward as fuck. I think Dole like covers her mouth and it's like, oh no, that's not what you do there. That's not what you do. It's just like the Catholic thing, and with you, but it's like no, it's not what you're supposed to do. Yeah, and I think the rest of them, just keep it professional. And is there anything you want to get done in the paperwork for tonight? Like, what did you want to communicate?
Oh, should we do another paperwork?
I think so. I feel like it. I mean, I feel like we can, come back and try to like open the door one more time.
Yeah.
But I feel like so. Here's how I'm imagining this. There was the day you went home, and then after that you didn't have to go into work early because you weren't getting an assignment.
Yeah.
So you talked to the lore keepers, went over the door stuff with people, and then met, and then like at the end of your shift for like a couple of hours, that's what this is.
Right.
And so now you that we know from the conversation that we saw with Randira and the senior leadership that she has 48 hours.
Right.
And so like, there's no pressure on you to like jump back in right today. And so
Yeah. All right.
yeah,
Let's do another paperwork roll
yeah. So I
because
think, but I do think you have to get the paperwork in.
I
Yeah.
can I can hopefully if I roll well, I can certainly use the resources. So my goal with this paperwork is to get some. I know we're probably in good shape, but on the safe side, I just realized like we had no backup. The backup was dull and blue, and like I get that just happened to be enough. But
And I think
I,
technically they didn't have to be there.
yeah,
Like,
right, exactly. I think they were there because they were there to support me, but
right.
like they
That's exactly why they were
so
there.
so I want some pikemen. I want some people with pikes that can keep ghouls at 10 feet at bay.
Yeah.
Something that can push them back if we need to. Basically, if we need to fall back, because we had no fallback plan. If the plan was run away, the ghouls would have just chased us out of the dungeon. So I want a way that we can put the barricade back up,
Yeah.
and I think what that looks like is some.
If you succeed, I know exactly what you're going to get. You're not going to get pikemen, but it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's totally fine for me to ask for that and get something that accomplishes something similar.
Yeah,
But
it's like
that's what I haven't.
pikemen. Yeah, we'll do our best. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So, all right. Were the delve goals accomplished?
I think yes this
I
time.
think this time, yeah. I mean, it was push these goals back, and we did that.
I
Yeah,
think you wanted to get the door set up. I think that's
yeah.
what like you really want to do. Cool.
Absolutely. Everyone made it out,
Yep.
barely, but yes. And the dungeon is no longer a threat to Jakeways. No, it is still absolutely a threat.
Yeah.
So roll 36 plus 2.
Holy shit.
My rolls are just so freaking hot and cold. All right.
Cool. Yeah. So the next day you get there, and there are these this is totally inspired by a thing I went to in Japan. There is this festival where like local martial arts schools just like show off their shit. And like there are all kinds of cool martial arts schools in Japan. I mean, there is an old samurai school where they have like the original kata for black powder weapons. And like you can like there was literally like a guy in the field, doing his like black powder rifle kata. But those weren't the coolest people. The coolest school that I definitely did not have the Japanese to fucking have the gall to walk in and talk to and train at, because I could barely ask for I could barely order food. Was a group of old ladies with naginata. They were the baddest ass. And so I think what you get are like a bunch of old ladies who like run the naginata school, from like a traditional art that they've brought with them to Jakeways, and has become like a city staple. And like in like the Jakeways parades, you can see them like walking down the street with their
Right.
with their naginatas
Right.
proudly, and
They
like
got streamers coming off of the
totally. And then they do like they stop, and like there's some cool drum music, and they do like a cool naginata dance. So like yeah, you get like you get like 4 old ladies with naginata.
Nice.
And I think they the eldest of them comes up to you. They are fierce, Corey, without a doubt. And I just thought they were the coolest people in the world. And yeah, they say, we hear you need some long weapons.
Yeah, we need to. Wow, you're not who I expected. That's awesome. I am honored that you came out to this. Thank you for protecting the city.
We like being able to keep the city safe. This is nice.
Well, the down there is not nice, but I feel better. I feel more rest assured knowing you've got our backs. Yesterday we went in and fought them, and they kept swarming us, and it got ugly. Somebody lost an ear. Lots of blood was shed, and if it gets like that again, I want to thin their lines by holding some of them back. I don't need you to kill them. I just need long pole arms in there to push them back so that we can fight a reasonable amount of time and not get overwhelmed. That probably means that probably means getting your Naginata around somebody who's in the middle of fighting, which I'm sure is tricky. But if anyone knows how to do it, you do. I'm sure it'll be a lot better than what I did yesterday. Just basically be like, fire in the hole.
Right.
Everybody dive out of the way.
Yeah. She says, had a bit of a mess.
It was ugly. It was bloody. Also, it stinks down there. I apologize.
I am Zayan.
I'm Micah. I'm the delve lead. And so far, everyone who's gone in there has come out. So, knock on wood. We're what would a sign of good luck in Jakeways be?
Yeah.
Thinking about like thinking about like all the portals and the dungeons and the like I'm gonna say rubbing stones together, like the way you might like rub two stones sort of smooth each other out. I'm just imagining the stonework of a dungeon and the stonework of the earth that it portaled into coming together.
Okay.
I think rubbing stones together is the sign of is the act of good luck, right? You pick up two rocks and rub them against each other.
Does
that sound cool? I don't know.
Yeah. Love it. So what does that sound like? Like, say it.
So I say, it was ugly yesterday, but rubbing stones together, we'll everyone will make it out today as well.
Yeah, totally. I think she says, we'll be home for tea in no time, without a doubt.
Right.
I think Zayan and Dole start working, and like they put the three, they put Arnar and Naja and Ajo in front of them, like outside of the, out in the street.
Right, where there's room.
Like they line up, and then the Naginata ladies, like, I mean, I'm not going to do their arm thing, but they are like, they fight, like they will put it up here and they'll hold it. And so like they've got those things pressed over their head. And they show like where the chop motion and where the attack vectors are going to be.
Yeah.
So the people with shields like understand, and like Dole makes a couple of suggestions, and then turns to you and says, "Let me show you what we got." And like they show you how these folks are going to all work together in theory in a tunnel, in a tomb. And I think the ladies like help each other get their breastplates on, and get their like armored skirts on, which I'm sure have cooler names than that, but I'm just going to go with armored skirt for now.
Armored skirt sounds right.
And then they get their, I think they have like those baller samurai masks, and they've got just like cool, terrifying faces that kind of look like their faces, but it's probably like their grandmother's faces, really.
Yeah.
And so they like slide those into their helms, and they're like, and I think a dozen people, not a dozen, maybe like half a dozen people look at you. Let's say 3 holy knights, 4 Naginata ladies, Dole and Blue. I think all look at you.
Well, and we've got a couple of municipal workers who got to pull back the barricades as well. It's a dozen people, I'm sure, that we've got down there by the time. I go, okay, folks. Everybody from yesterday's wounds, all right? You've been cleared to go back go back down there by your healthcare worker or cleric of choice? By your.
Everyone nods.
All right. Okay. All right, everybody. We pushed them back great yesterday. All we need to do is do the same today, and we're better prepared than we were. Zion and her comrades are going to keep them from overwhelming you, and you're just going to make work of them. This is going to be a walk in the park. We're gonna we're gonna walk into this and share some drinks together afterward.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll be done by lunch. And healing arts practitioner, you're Hap. Yeah, thanks, Mike Ma. That's it. I think we go in, and I think I'm gonna listen at the barricade, see if there's like ghouls banging away at it. Ask the day watch, I guess, whoever was there before, if they were trying to break it down in the middle of the night. Try and anticipate what we're gonna find on the other side. Does it sound like they're actively at the door, or have they fallen back?
I think the squires who sat with the door all day say like they tested the door a couple times. We thought they were going to make a go of it. Didn't seem like they could break through real easy.
Well, that's good to hear.
But we didn't get a count or anything. I don't know how many are back there.
Okay, everybody, when we move in, just remember that there's alcoves on the side, so we are not going to advance past those alcoves until they are 100% clear. I'm going to clear each one before we move on. We're not letting these ghouls get behind us. And I call to pull open the barricade and
yep,
have everybody start moving forward.
I think like you pull open the barricade and it's kind of quiet for a little bit, and then the ladies start making these gestures, and you realize that like it has started up there.
Yeah.
I feel like it's your. I feel like this is I don't know. What is it? It's some kind of leadership role, right?
Yeah. I think it's another. I mean, I feel like this is the role that I would have made yesterday to try and drive him back further. But now I have reinforcements. Now I have people have been patched up. I'm not risking everybody's lives. I mean, I still am, but I'm not risking them quite as much as I was before. All right. This definitely feels like it's a benefiting from my paperwork. So
totally. This is +1. Yeah.
+1 on this roll, and we're gonna call this charisma. See how that goes. All right, we got an 8.
Cool. I saw the 14 from the last roll, and I was like, "What? How did you possibly roll that? You are a cheater. You are a cheater."
Yes. Theoretically, I've got +2 on this roll. 1 from charisma, 1 from my paperwork. But yes.
Yeah. I think some damage goes out.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that is the problem. It's significant damage too.
Yeah.
Again, I think these ladies are badass, but I'm gonna roll for I just want to see how much damage, how much the older ladies do. I'm gonna say they're 2d6 hit points.
Cool.
Because I feel like they're trained, and that's what trained should mean. I'm gonna roll 4 times and see what we get.
Cool.
1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so 2 of them go down.
Yeah.
And I think one of them is holding on for her dear life, and another. But 2 goes down. I think the 11 is clearly Zion.
Yeah. I think because this isn't happening. I mean, not that I can prevent the wounds at all, but because this is happening in the course of like minutes or hours, this isn't happening all at once. This is not one big blow. I think the moment one of them falls down, which I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
I am going to take Anar's place at the front for a minute so that he can heal them.
Nice.
And I say, Anar, if anyone needed the sun god's help, it's right now. And I come in with my crow axe to like switch with him so that
Yeah,
he can
yeah.
heal.
I wanna roll from you to hold the line.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. And I am. I think. Tell me this, Judd. In all the fighting that I've done with them so far, have I been able to determine anything about these ghouls in terms of if any holy things scare them, if there's a way that they attack, if there's anything that I could basically, is there any reason way I could justify this my paperwork role where I was basically reporting on everything I saw about them,
Yeah.
helping me in this? Does that make any sense at all, or am I?
Yeah. No, I think you've been studying them for a couple days now, so I think,
Yeah,
I think you totally notice that, um, that they come in waves, and they're just not stupid. They try to draw people out, and they try to get a hold of the ends of the naginatas and like pull the people off.
mm-hmm.
And then like while one is pulling, the other one goes under.
Yeah,
And they try to get under shields and bite and slash. And I just think they're really reckless with their own bodies.
yeah,
In a way that human opponents just aren't.
right.
It's very difficult to fight.
Yeah,
It's very difficult to fight someone who just doesn't give a shit about their own well-being.
yeah.
And
I dig it. So I think I think if there's room for it, if it makes sense, if Dole's still there, I think I'm coordinating with Dole actually, like, Dole, get your shield up, and then if they try to pull at it, don't worry about it. Like, the goal is not that means their hands are busy. You just wrestle around with it. And I'm going to come around with the crow axe and hook them from the other side. I'm going to hook them and I'm going to hook them and drag them in. So
cool.
I'm going to coordinate. So I think I'm going to call this Dex, because I think it's like trying to lure him.
Sure.
I think it's a strength roll. I feel like it.
I could see Dex.
I
can see Dex.
And I'm taking +1 on this because this is
from your 1+1 forward.
Again, my roll is on fire. All right, that's a 14.
Yeah, I think while Arnar is back there healing the ladies who fell up, your crow axe goes into a skull, and you hear on the other side of the line, which is only an arm length and a half away.
Right.
You hear a naginata like go down into a ghoul's neck and just like cut it in half. That's totally ghouls. Anyone who says that should be a ghoul.
Yeah.
That should be called a ghoul. And I think like those two ghouls go down, and there's like a quiet in the hallway, and you all realize that like that's it. You just killed the last two. And you hear Arnar, like you can feel like the dawn light, the unnatural natural clerical spellcasting of healing of Arnar's holy sunlight from his healing hand. And I think that the two ladies who fell are back up, and like they take a pose again. But Zayin says, I think we got them. Delve Leader, what do you think?
Like I said, we're going to check all these corridors and make sure these alcoves, make sure that they don't make sure that none of them are waiting for us to put our guard down. But I think you're right. And yeah, I'm going to go through, and I'm going to shine this time, glow orb in hand, and we're going to sort of poke at all the corners.
Yeah.
And just sort of make sure there's no more hiding and waiting to, because like you said, they're not dumb. Like, they're reckless with their bodies, but they're smart. And
right.
And I can see one trying to lure us. So yeah, we just check the alcoves, and
Yep. Yeah.
And
You check the alcoves. You see the little stasis fields that were taken down by the trap. The little stasis generators, whatever the fuck they look like. And I'm a GM. I should probably describe that. I kind of want to use the John Harper method and be like, picture something really cool
yeah,
for those stasis fields. But I think
I'm
it's
imagining you said projector earlier, and so I'm
yeah,
kind of imagining this like clockwork apparatus with like a projector lens
yeah,
and we can see that the lens is dull, like it used to be lit, and it
yeah,
was causing the field
yep.
around it.
Love it. Thank you for imagining something cool when I was
Yeah,
like, I have no words for this. I
I
don't
got
know.
cool stuff. We cool stuff. Yeah.
And yeah, I think you check the alcoves and it looks clear. Uh, and you kind of get to the end of the hallway and they are all, everybody's kind of standing around, kind of at ready, but also ready to kind of celebrate a little bit. And
Yeah.
but I think Dole and Blue are like, all right, let's get to work now.
Right. Right. Okay. I want everybody, um, uh, all of you, all you warriors did a fantastic job. Um, uh, Stay on alert for a bit longer. I'm going to take the Delve team into the rest, and we'll see if there's any other dangers. And if not, we can send you home. And if so, well, you'll hear our screams most likely. Um, but I'm a good scout. I got a good eye. I'll catch something if there's something down there.
Cool.
Even if I have to catch it on fire and run away. All right. So yeah, I think I take Dole and Blue to do our blue collar work. Right. We're gonna go in and check the rest of it.
Yeah. What does that look like? What are you looking for? I mean, it's really.
I mean, I want to make sure that if there's more threat. I don't think there are. I think we've probably flushed it all out. But if there's more ghouls, then I want to make sure we can draw them out and not get gobbled by them.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely looking for another one of those shafts of light that we tripped the first time. I definitely think if all those corridors were just filled with warriors, that was presumably protecting whatever's down here, there could be more traps. So
yep. So like explain, like describe Micah looking for shafts of light. Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, I think Micah reaches into a pouch and has this really fine powder that they throw out, and they watch the desmotes in the air. And if there's like a shaft of light, then it sort of is going to they're going to stand out as they pass through it.
Yeah.
And so we're kind of throwing a little dust, waiting for it to settle, going forward, doing it again.
Yep. No, I think you don't find any more traps.
Cool.
The dust all settles, and it looks pretty good.
Nice. All right, Dole, Blue, just stay by my side. This is small enough. This is wide enough. We can walk side by side. We don't need to go in a line. And I want you flanking me. And we start looking through the alcoves, see what the Sorcerer King's hid back here.
Yeah, I think what you find are 11, weird stasis generators that have been turned off, that have been like clicked off, but like the alcoves don't have actual, like they only had the ghouls in them. They didn't have actually any people. Like any non-ghouls. Like there aren't bodies in the alcoves.
Right.
There were just ghouls in the alcoves. And like if you were walking in the, if you had walked into this thing and gotten to the stairs, you would have been in the middle of a real shitstorm,
Oh, right, because there would have been ghouls from the front and ghouls from the back.
Yeah, they would have jumped out.
All right.
But as it was, they kind of got drawn out a little early, and so here we are.
Yeah. Well, I look around. I go, well, damn it! I wish we had Polarum. He's got the best hands. If there's nothing here, then I suspect either we got some secret doors that we haven't found, or it's the constellations on the walls that maybe spell something out. Um, Blue, you want to see if you can make any sense of those? I'm going to look and see if I can find any secret doors. This can't have been a chamber with nothing but death in it.
Yeah.
They wouldn't guard that, but they wouldn't guard a bunch of guards that well with
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that heavy a door.
Cool. Yeah, I think Blue kind of likes this. Yeah, I think those stars are nonsense, but I'll look and goes back. And then like Dole has your back and says, how are we looking for secret doors? This is not my strong suit.
Mine either. Thinking about the one that we found. I think it's going to be in the art or I think the constellations are bullshit, but I bet one of them is. I bet one of them is a key to this, and I say. Say, oh, hold on. I've got an idea. We've got a priest of both the sun and the stars back there. Wonder if they're powered by light. I wonder if reflecting light through them is going to make any difference. If those constellations are just here as a ruse, maybe they're part of some thing. I want to light this place up for real. So I go back and grab and talk to Arnar and Sister Naja, and I say nothing in there, but I suspect that there's all I pointed out the constellations that we've been going through. I suspect from seeing them from seeing other relics of the Sorcerer Kings that these stars, even if the constellations are fake, they have something to do with their that they're hiding something. So
yeah, I think like Sister Naja, who is a sister of the night sky and a badass monster hunter in her own right, looks at the stars and like you can tell it pisses her off that it's like it's a real blasphemy.
Oh, because it's so wrong.
Yeah, and she says these are stars that were dedicated to gods that we worshipped before the Sorcerer Kings arrived. They were killed by the Sorcerer Kings. So the Sorcerer Kings putting these things on tombs that actually have servants in them. It's classic Sorcerer King genocidal.
Look at the stars that we destroyed. Look at the.
She like her eyes like get teary in anger, and she says, "Yes, this is a foul joke."
I wish I knew the temperament of the Sorcerer Kings, other than paranoid. It seems to be the only characteristic I can identify from them. Well, and very vain,
yes.
Egocentric.
Yes.
Possibly even insecure. Yeah, someday it'll be their stars. I kind of mumble, not as a direct threat, but
yeah,
like we're gonna put their stars on coffin someday.
Yep.
All right. Well, then none of these are something sacred. None of these are something we care about. Let's just smash them and see if anything lets loose. Let's poke and prod at them. I don't care how well they fare.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go and start tapping them with a crow axe, and if I break one, I don't care.
I think you tap one and it breaks. I mean, it is clearly glass. The gems, like once you really fuck with them, you're like, oh, these are glass. Like if I had looked at these for 10 more seconds, I would have known that this is costume shit.
Yeah,
and that these tombs are fake.
All right. So I assume after poking and prodding at them, it sounds like nothing happens. I get a bunch of broken glass and then.
Yep.
All right. Do I have any more of the municipal guys still at the entrance?
Yeah, they're around. I think.
I think I'm about ready to call it a day, but I'm going to grab one of them and say, "Hey, any of these stones look like they've shifted? Any of these stones look like there's I'm figuring like a place with a secret door or something like that.
Yeah.
You'd be able to see the grade or the scrape against the stone. And I figure like guys who work in construction and things like that
Yeah,
are
yeah,
gonna know
yeah. I
it better
love
than
it.
I am.
I
So I'm
love it.
like, any of this construction look substandard to you? Look suspicious? I'm thinking that there's a trap door here somewhere, but I don't know how to look for it.
Yeah, they go down into like with you. They go over the whole place, and like with torches, and like they're like talking about construction and like what it must have been like to build this place, and they're talking and talking, and then they get into like the last area where you like down the stairs where you fought to where you fought to get to.
Yeah.
And and like that circle, that like oval shaped
Mm-hmm.
thing, they're like, yeah, something here is not right.
All right.
There's some stone scrape here.
Awesome. Well, let's start prying at the edges. If we have to break this thing down with lifter 3, then so be it.
Yeah.
Can they go upstairs? And they're able to get upstairs, right? With some help.
Yeah, they can. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Cool.
so you're like bringing lifter 3 in to like.
Well, I mean that's my theory is let's try and pull the lever, and if we can't pull the lever, let's rip the goddamn door off the wall.
Yeah.
Let's just rip the door apart with a forklift, basically.
Yeah. I think so. To the east of that oval, lifter 3 just demolishes the wall.
Yeah.
And there's stairways going down, and the municipal guys go fucking berserk. Like this is like, imagine a bunch of workers like getting to open a secret door at work. Like that is the dopest thing that would ever happen to you. And so they are absolutely just go like high-fiving, and one of them hugs you, and then hugs lifter 3, and like lifter 3 sparkles their eyes and says secret door.
Secret door. Yeah, I mean, I imagine it is a little bit like if you worked in a library, say, and they're like, "Hey, there's a secret, passage behind the stacks."
Yeah. It would be amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah. There are stairs going down. Yep.
Yeah. I just there's a part of me. Hey, what's up, Andy? There's a part of me that just loves the idea that there was some really crafty, clever trick that the Sorcerer Kings had for getting this, and we're just like, no, we're just going to use construction tools and elbow grease to work to get it open.
Yeah, I think Dole like looks at like takes out a pocket watch and says, "We're about at the end. Do you want to check out the secret room, or should we do that tomorrow night?"
What's the 48-hour clock that I think this is the end. We're getting close to the end of the 48-hour clock that Rivera had, right?
Right. But I think that 48-hour clock was more like, how often do we have to have people here guarding against ghouls?
Oh, she had 48 hours of, okay, yeah.
I think like that was the big expense.
Yeah.
Is like,
that's how much time she had allocated to really cordon off the dungeon.
Yep. I mean, now it's just going to be like normal tape and like a normal guard duty.
Right, which is, I think, fine. I mean, who knows what else we're going to find down there, but I think that's fine. I think we call it. I think we post a delver. So we have like a single person or a couple people just to make sure if something does come up that they can run to get some backup for it, that they can sound an alarm. But other than that, I think we tell everybody, we close down the pavilion, and we say there's more to the delve, but in this case I think it's like there's degrees of threat, right? Like this is like a stage 5 threat delve, and now it's back to stage 1 or stage 2, whatever. Like still a hazard, but not an imminent danger.
Yep, you can't have an unknown amount of ghouls just running around the city.
Right.
That's amazing that you actually found a secret door. There is it's not a library. It is a writing center in Brooklyn. and I don't know the name of it, but I will look it up. And it is. It has a secret door into like its main writing area, and it is so cool.
Yeah.
And when you come in, you have to tell them your superhero name, and then they like put you in a thing, in like a containment unit, and they like depower you so that you can't mess anything up in the place. It's really really cool. It's called
Oh my god.
they like your super villain name, and they like de-villainize you. I've got the link here, and it's a superhero supply company and youth writing center, and it's amazing. And if you're in Brooklyn, you should go to it and buy cool stuff, because they've got like just really stupid cool stuff for sale. You can basically get like a paint can with a really cool label on it that says like black hole matter, or like, you know, or antimatter, like do not touch, you know, and just, and all the money goes to the writing center. So I say stupid, but also awesome.
Oh, I
And,
think I know. I think I know that there's a couple of these. There's one in there's a writing center like that in LA, and also another one in San Francisco. There's 926 Vallejo, which is like a space themed one.
Nice.
They
Awesome.
all have some sort of like fantastical element in the front, and then
Yeah.
it is actually a writing center for kids.
Yeah.
In the back.
It's super cool. It's a really cool. Johnny and I went and visited when we lived in New York City, and just had a really lovely day. And I as a person who lives in Queens, man, I hate going to Brooklyn, but that was worth it.
Yeah.
So anyway, how do we get to that? Secret doors.
Secret doors. Actual secret doors.
Yeah, Spike Maw. That is awesome that you actually found a secret door.
Yeah. It's called 826 Valencia, so I'm sure 826 NYC is the same.
Yep.
The one in San Francisco is 826 Valencia, and yeah, they're all. And I forget the one in LA, but I'm sure they're so freaking cool.
Yeah.
I work in a theater, in a performing arts hall. And the number of weird, they're not secret doors per se, but there's definitely doors in places you don't expect. And the number of weird crawl spaces and like ways to get from one part of the theater to another is so phenomenal.
Yeah.
I've just found ladders going up into the ceiling, and I'm like, what's that? And I get up there and I'm like, I'm on top of the stage, but there's another ladder. I'm going to get up there. Now I'm literally walking over the stage. How is this possible?
Yep.
It's so fun to explore things like that. Anyway,
I worked in two libraries that were connected by a tunnel, and like the tunnel just looked like a basement, right? It was not sexy, but like to the students, they were like, we hear there's a tunnel. Can you show us the tunnel? And I'm like, it's really just a basement. It's really not exciting, but like you can't explain. It's not like the myth of the tunnel is too real. So every once in a while it's like, and then like once a year the tunnel opens, and anyway, everyone comes, it's a disaster.
That is reminding me of a tunnel story, but we've gone on.
We're over time. So you that's a game. That's cool. You said you had a lot of things to secret tunnel. Yeah,
I've got a lot of things
secret tunnel.
To pipe. Should we do XP, or are we? I think last time I capped out on XP, and it was like the next thing was city stuff. Do you want to figure that out next time, or
let's figure that out next time? So I think I've got some rules for leveling up we need to work on. So let's do that next time.
Cool. All right. Cool. Well, then absolutely. We'll do our outros. I'm Sean. You can find me everywhere at Sean Nittner, including now on dice.camp. Judd joined folks over there on Mastodon, and it seems cool. If you want Twitter, that's not Twitter, I guess. It's neat. I'm connecting with a few people, and trying to be a little less promotional and just than I am on Twitter about stuff all the time. But enjoying it. The two things that are big and exciting are Big Bad Online is next Friday, a week from today is Big Bad Online. We now have 22 and a half hours of panels lined up. We've got two more that are I'm just waiting on the details, and we'll have those out. They are phenomenal panels from people all over the world talking about their design communities, their practices, their experience with editing, translating, just tons and tons and tons of different things all around games, game design, game communities, and it's absolutely it's phenomenal. It is totally 100% free to attend, but if you want to go over to bigbadcon.com, click on register, and you will get a link to the Discord server. Again, it's all free, but the way you get in is by registering on the site, and we even have all the volunteer shifts filled, so I don't even have to ask people to jump in for a volunteer shift, because we've had a fantastic support from the community. It's been wonderful. So that's excellent. It's everything I could hope for, and it's just going to be such a good show. And then the other thing is that Improv for Gamers Second Edition is also crowdfunding right now. It's going to be crowdfunding until next Thursday. So just the day before Big Bad Online. That was not planned, but that's how it happened. And we've hit the first stretch goal, and I would really like to hit the second one, because the second one is where we actually hit the tipping point of making money on this project. And so we're paying everybody who worked on it more, which would be great, because now we can do that. So
how much more time is left?
6 days. So
okay.
6 days. I think we can do it. I think we can hit the next goal.
Yeah.
But if you have struggled to come up with cool character motivations, or building relationships, or just trying to practice your skills of listening and collaborating, this is a book chock full of games that are all about doing that. And I've taken the workshops several times. I've really found them super valuable. And Karen's a fantastic writer, instructor, and I love what she put together. So anyway, that's Improv for Gamers. I would highly recommend checking it out. And that's it for me. How about you, Judd?
Hey, I'm Judd, he, him. I feel like I should have said that about 3 hours ago. You can get to my links through this link right here, and the blog is going. I'm definitely doing a lot of actual play blog posting, and then very often one thing I'm going to be doing a lot more is taking a moment from a game and expanding on it and being like, hey, this was really interesting, let's talk about this a little more. And I'm definitely going to do that. There was a really interesting moment in a Trophy Gold game that I'm going to blog about in the coming week, where a player declared something, and we all were like, yeah, of course, that's true. Yeah. But it was like an escalation. It was definitely like, oh, I know how to do the bell magic. Like, I can ring the bell, even though it doesn't have a clapper, I can ring it. And it should, I could see instances where that would be something that'd be like, no, you don't just get to say that. But in this case, it was so on, and we were so in tune with one another and building on what the other one was saying, that we all were just like, hell yeah, you can. You could do the creepy silver bell magic now. Yeah, of course, that makes perfect sense. Yeah. And it just, so it was an interesting moment, and I want to talk about that and pick that apart. So that's the kind of things I'm doing on the blog. And I made a post. I took a bunch of art from the British Library Flickr account and made just little hireling cards, so you can so the players could see who the hirelings they were hiring were. And yeah, it was fun. It was really fun. It's good stuff. So
it sounds super cool. Also feels very Sabriel. The bells with
the bells is very Sabriel. Yeah, it was like Sabriel, but we spent the whole game like this. Which I guess I was also Sabriel, because there was a lot of undead in the river stuff going on with that book. I need to reread that. And the audiobook is read by Tim Curry. I think we've talked about this before.
Yeah, it's really good. I don't know if you turned me onto it or if Jen Martin did, but I it's very good book.
I need to. I think I read it 1,000 years ago and then never read the second or third book. So I need to like go back and read the first one and then just read the rest of them, because that bell magic is like, wow, it's so good. Neat stuff. So anyway, that's what's going on. Blogging, podcasting. If you want to, if you daydreaming about dragons, the blog is Get Yankee Diaspora. This has gone on long. I'm around. Find me. Look over here. Like, see this? You can just find me on the Evil Bird site, and I'll be around. Come find me.
Excellent. All right, friends, we're gonna roll out, and we'll be back not next Friday, because next Friday is Big Bad Online, but I suspect Cartel will be back. Maybe what I can look at my own calendar. I can see what's going on.
Hut Cartel sounds awesome. Like
it does, yeah.
I've tuned in a bit, and I wish that my life was letting me tune in more, because I'm liking what I'm hearing.
We actually have a big lineup next week on Actual Play. I forgot. So we've got the Isabel, which is one of the 2 Desperation games from Bully Pulpit that's also on GameFound right now.
Nice.
So we'll be streaming that with Jen Martin, Ray Najati, Javier Beltran, and Jay Brown. We'll be doing that on Monday. Wednesday we've got Twilight Throne in the House's Room, and Thursday we've got Cartel. So for a game that doesn't, for a week that doesn't have you and I yammering on about dungeon delving, we still got a full docket.
So that's great.
Come back.
That's great. After a while where I felt like it was the Judd and Sean's show too much, it's nice to see like other people getting spotlight time on
getting on the channel.
Camera.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is awesome.
All right, friends, we're gonna roll out.
Yeah, and if you show up to those shows, very often me or Sean or both will be in the chat, cheering our friends on. So show up for those too. Please.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right.
You can hit the notify button. It's down here somewhere. You can find it.
Yeah. There's I don't know where. I'm not looking at the stream. So, I mean, I'm
not in your house. All right.
All right. Good night, all. Take care.
Get me out of here. Get me out of here.
All right.
I'm not fit for broadcasting now.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.